The Philippines and Vietnam are two of the hottest economies in Southeast Asia. Both countries have seen rapid growth in recent years, but which one is better positioned for long-term success? The Philippines has a number of advantages, including a young and growing population, a strong services sector, and a unique culture that attracts tourists from all over the world. Vietnam, on the other hand, has a strong manufacturing sector, a focus on foreign investment, and a strategic location on the South China Sea. So, in this video, we'll take a deep dive into the economies of the Philippines and Vietnam. We'll compare key economic indicators such as GDP growth, inflation, unemployment, trade balance, foreign reserves, and debt levels. We'll also discuss the factors that are driving growth in each country and the challenges that they face. In 2022, the Philippines had a great year for its economy. It grew by 7.6%, which is the fastest it's grown since 1976. And their GDP was around a whopping $374.2 billion. Some people are even saying that the Philippines will be the fastest growing economy among a group of countries in Southeast Asia called ASEAN. The first significant reason for this growth is the remittances that are coming in. In 2021, it was almost 10% of all the money the country makes, which is a lot. A lot of Filipinos go to different countries to work and live, and they send money to their families back home. In 2022, they sent back a record high amount of $36.1 billion. This money really makes a difference for families in the Philippines. It gives them more money and makes their lives better. More and more people in the Philippines are in the middle class, and that's one of the reasons why the country is getting better. Some parts of the country have changed a lot, like the shops, services and houses, which have grown a lot because people are buying more things. One thing the Philippines is really good at, and will keep being good at, is giving services. At the beginning of 2023, services made up 61.1% of all the money the country made. Can you believe that? 61%! And it grew even more by 8.4% just in the first part of this year. This part of the country covers lots of different jobs, like helping tourists, doing jobs for wealthier countries, and running shops. All of this stuff helps make the Philippines' economy stronger. What's even more interesting is that there's still lots of room to make this part even better. They can bring more tourists to beautiful places and keep smart Filipinos here so they can do jobs that help other countries. The whole country has lots of good possibilities. In the future, having many people here will be a big advantage. The Philippines has many young people who can speak English, and they can help the country grow. Also, the Philippines doesn't owe too much money compared to other Asian countries. The Philippines knows that having good roads and buildings helps the country do well. So they came up with a plan called Build, Build, Build. They're spending a lot of money to make transportation better, improve airports and ports, and connect all the islands. These changes are making the country richer, giving people jobs, and making investors interested. The Philippines really wants businesses to come up with new ideas and invest in starting new things. The government is helping this happen by making rules that are good for business. Because of the focus on starting new businesses, the country's economy is getting bigger. They are also using technology for things like money services and online shopping. The Philippines also gets along well with other countries thanks to its government. The government makes smart deals to sell things to other countries and make more money. From 2010 to 2019, the country kept growing a lot, around 6.4% every year. If the leaders of the country keep things going well and have a plan for the next 10 years, the Philippines could become one of the biggest and most important economies in the whole world. On the other hand, Vietnam's economy has been getting better quickly in the last few years. In 2022, Vietnam's money grew by 8%, which is the fastest in Southeast Asia. This happened because they sold a lot of things to other countries. There are a few things that are making Vietnam's GDP grow. One is that there are a lot of young people in Vietnam. The average age in Vietnam is 33.1 years, which is lower than in other countries in Southeast Asia. This young population is a boon to the economy as it provides a large pool of workers and consumers. Another factor driving Vietnam's economic growth is its focus on foreign investment. The Vietnamese government has implemented a number of policies to attract foreign investment, such as tax breaks and streamlined regulations. As a result, Vietnam has become one of the top destinations for foreign investment in Southeast Asia. In addition, Vietnam has a strong manufacturing sector. Vietnam is a major exporter of textiles, footwear, and electronics. The manufacturing sector has benefited from the country's low wages and skilled workforce. Vietnam's economy is also benefiting from its strategic location on the South China Sea. Vietnam is a member of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, and has free trade agreements with a number of countries, including the United States, Japan, and South Korea. This gives Vietnamese businesses access to a large and growing market. However, there are also some challenges facing the Vietnamese economy. One challenge is inflation. Inflation has been rising in recent months due to factors such as rising food and energy prices. Inflation could erode the purchasing power of consumers and businesses and could dampen economic growth. Another challenge facing the Vietnamese economy is its reliance on exports. The Vietnamese economy is highly dependent on exports, particularly to the United States and China. If there is a slowdown in the global economy, it could hurt Vietnam's exports and economic growth. Despite the challenges, Vietnam's economy is expected to continue growing in the coming years. The World Bank forecasts that Vietnam's GDP will grow by 6.3% in 2023 and 6.5% in 2024. Vietnam's government is also implementing a number of reforms to boost the economy, such as investing in infrastructure and education. So, both countries have seen rapid growth in recent years, but Vietnam is currently outperforming the Philippines in terms of GDP growth. The Philippines, on the other hand, is more reliant on its services sector, particularly tourism and outsourcing. The services sector has been hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic, which has led to a decline in tourism and outsourcing activity. In addition, the Philippines has a higher inflation rate than Vietnam. Inflation could erode the purchasing power of consumers and businesses and could dampen economic growth. Overall, Vietnam is currently outperforming the Philippines in terms of economic growth. This is due to a number of factors, including Vietnam's focus on foreign investment, its strong manufacturing sector, and its lower inflation rate. However, it is important to note that both the Philippines and Vietnam are growing economies. The Philippines has a number of advantages, such as a young and growing population, a strong services sector, and a unique culture that attracts tourists from all over the world. It is also important to note that the global economy is facing a number of challenges, such as the war in Ukraine and rising interest rates. These challenges could impact the economic growth of both the Philippines and Vietnam in the coming years. That's it for today. And now we invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. Do subscribe to the channel if you like our content, and we will catch you in the next one.